Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Wargaming 2022. For today's Wargaming 2022, we're going to be talking about Ohio's second primary, which is coming up here this coming Tuesday, August 2nd. The main reason that we had to have a second primary is because the current Supreme Court head justice in our state Supreme Court, Maureen O'Connor, decided to be a complete scumbag rhino sellout and side with a bunch of Democrats in our state Supreme Court. And basically the four of them ruled a bunch of maps unconstitutional, even though they were totally constitutional, because Ohio is a red state and has been for years now, pretty much at least a decade now. And so a lot of fuckery went on. And yeah, you basically had all these people scumbag their way into some stuff and basically force Ohioans to now pay another $20 million for a second primary, which is going to take place here this coming Tuesday, where you have basically our state house and our state senate be decided, and a few other different ballot initiatives and stuff like that. It should have been in May's primary, but unfortunately, because of how the redistricting happened and everything like that, you're not going to be able to get those until this coming Tuesday. But we are going to talk about a lot of stuff in this episode, pretty much break down all 99 state house seats, as well as all 33 Senate seats as well. But it's only really like 16 or 17 of them are up for grabs right now. So it'll be like 17 of those and then 99 of the other ones. And then also the different people that are making up our state Supreme Court right now, including why Sharon Kennedy needs to become the new state Supreme Court justice, the lead of them, because of the fact that O'Connor is a piece of shit. She should have been impeached a while ago already. And honestly, I've talked to my state rep a couple times now, and the Republican Party in the state is pretty much ready to impeach her and the three Democrats out of our state Supreme Court right now. And they should have already done it at this point, honestly, like 4 to 6 months ago. I'm not even going to lie about that, dude. Like, it should have already happened, because there is so much like scumbaggery going on here that it definitely should be criminal charges at this point, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, breaking down everything today, going on to different things here. We're going to start out with our different state house races and stuff like that, which, mind you, there's a lot of different primaries and stuff in this for one side or the other, whether it be Democrat or Republican, that have been canceled now because there's either nobody that made the ballot in them, or it's people that should be in the Democrat side that are now running as Republicans, like that piece of shit Adam Miller, who's been in our state house for years now, as a Democrat, has voted along party lines with the Democrat Party, is a total anti-gun sack of shit, is a fake military vet, because he's literally a fucking lawyer for the U.S. military on occasions, and is now trying to run a Republican primary in District 6 because he knows for a fact if he actually gets elected there in this primary, he's going to be able to skirt by in the general election with basically no challengers, what it'll be. So it definitely should be some stuff where either Secretary of State Frank LaRose or Attorney General Dave Yost tosses his ass out of this race entirely, dude. But, you know, they didn't, so it is what it is. Hopefully he'll get beat, and it'll be simple as that, honestly, dude. But anyway, so starting out here with District 1 to 99 in our state house right now, which really, I mean, we have 88 counties. It should be 88 reps, dude. Like, there's no reason to have 99 people in our state house right now. Same thing with Pennsylvania, where they have like 200-something people over there, and they're like 70-something counties, or 80-something counties, whatever it is. But anyway, so starting out here, we got District 1. You got incumbent Dontavius Jarrells versus Carolyn Harding in the District 1 Democrat primary. Republican primary has been canceled in that because I don't think people made I believe there was some people trying to go into that, but nobody actually made the ballot, is what it is. And I think, too, as well, where District 1 sits, it's pretty much in Columbus. So there really is no reason to run in that district because it is so heavily blue. Like, it's pretty much, and that's the thing, people want to talk about gerrymandering and stuff like that, dude. Every single major city in Ohio that has any state reps in it that have a Democrat next to their name, they've gerrymandered these cities so fucking blue that you cannot win as a Republican in them, no matter what, or an independent for that matter, even. Like, if you want to run as independent or third party or something like that, like, good luck to you. You're not going to win unless you run as a Democrat, dude. So basically, Jarrells has been in there since 2020. He's a scumbag. He's voted along party lines. He's an anti-gunner. He's voted pretty much he was actually one of the primary sponsors of red flag legislation this go around, and the other one was Allison Russo for that. And he's also pretty much voted along party lines for everything, basically anti-American, anti-constitutional, and stuff like that. Broken his oath to office many, many, many times, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Carolyn Harding, I assume she's just a party line Democrat. Would she be better than Dontavious Jarrell's at this point? Probably. And it's as simple as that. District 2, you got Latasha Humphrey. She has been in our General Assembly for about 6 months now, give or take. She ended up taking over the seat of, I believe it was either Janine Boyd or Stephanie House, both of which were hardcore black supremacists and should have been tossed out based on that alone. Stephanie House is currently on the Cleveland City Council now because she was termed out of office, and so was Janine Boyd for that matter. Also, fun fact about Janine Boyd real quick. Janine Boyd, when we were doing the heartbeat bill years ago, literally tried to cite slavery for why black women should be able to get abortions in this state, dude, and be exempt from the actual heartbeat legislation. So, yeah, these people are pieces of shit entirely, dude. And thank God they're going out of our state house. But, yeah, Humphrey, she is basically, again, a party line Democrat. She has voted along party lines. She has done everything the Democrat Party wants her to do. Just a complete scumbag in general. Michael Cole, I think that guy might be a Republican running as a Democrat because of the fact that that particular district is, again, gerrymandered so blue is what it is. So he would definitely be a better choice at this point compared to Humphrey. And it's really as simple as that. Going down to District 3, you can see that District 3, look at all, this is all the people right now, right? Because we've done our redistricting maps and stuff like that. You look at District 3 there, and you have 5 different people trying to run for the Democrat primary versus a guy in J. Josiah Lanning, who is actually going to get the Republican nomination. So my guess is, I don't really know like any of these people, honestly. Like, they're just a bunch of unknowns basically at this point to me. They may have run for like city councils or, you know, various other positions throughout the last few years or so. I have no idea. But either way, you know, you got Kelly Howrup, I think is her pronounced name, Harrop, Marrow McKendy, Devon Marshall, Ismail Mohammed, and Lamar Peebles. So really, it doesn't matter which one of those people wins. Hopefully, Josiah will actually be the one that takes the actual general election then in that district, and we'll just have that be a red seat then for this go around. District 4, you got Mary Lightbody, who's the incumbent, running unopposed, so she's going to win no matter what. So basically, it becomes who in the Republican primary is going to be able to hopefully beat her for that seat between Paul Philman and Jill Rudler. I feel like one of these people, I can't remember, it might be Philman in this one, but it might be somebody else that I'm thinking of in a different district. There's some person that's running right now, I believe as a Republican, who has ties to Giffords. And they are totally trying to scumbag that seat is what it is, dude. But anyway, yeah, Lightbody is a total piece of shit. She basically tried to make an amendment in the past year or so to give Amy Acton her own day. Amy Acton was the piece of shit that shut Ohio down for 442 days of tyranny because of being the health director at the time and was rightfully kicked the fuck out after that. So hopefully, whether it be Jill or Paul, whoever it is, beats Mary Lightbody in the General Assembly, general election for the General Assembly. District 5, we got Richard Brown, who's a total scumbag Democrat, total anti-gunner, total anti-lifer, fucking abortionist piece of shit, basically. Hopefully, Ronald Beach IV will be able to actually flip that District 5 into Republican territory then. District 6, you basically had Kenta Coliff not be able to make the ballot, and that's when this piece of shit Adam Miller. Hopefully I can grab a photo of this dude here. We already have that one video on the channel about him. But yeah, basically this is the scumbag who's trying to cheat his way back into office right now by doing a bunch of shitty stuff. Actually, let me go ahead and grab a photo real quick of him here. screen shit. Gotta get my tabs here. I swear this is a professional operation. It's just hard for me to do stuff sometimes. But yeah, this is what this scumbag looks like. He's a Democrat. He's been a Democrat for years. And the fact that he's even being able to run the Republican primary is a slap in the face of the state right now, dude. The guy is trying to literally get reelected in a primary is what it is. Because he knows if he can win the primary, he can win everything is what it is, dude. Because he'll have no general assembly or no general election opponents is what it'll be. So hopefully Joe Worthington, I think it's how I pronounce the guy's name, that he's running, or yeah, Worthington, that he's running against. Hopefully Joe will be able to beat his ass in that primary, dude, and just be able to take that seat. Because that's what needs to happen right now, is you just need to have a new person in there entirely. Need to make it a much better overall thing. And sorry, I need to try to screen share again for the actual thing here. All right, there we go. But yeah, hopefully Joe will be able to beat him in that primary and basically just take the whole thing in District 6 there. Because the thing is, the way I look at it right now is District 6, when we did the redistricting here in the state, does favor Republicans as far as I can tell. Not by much, but by enough to where there wouldn't be enough Democrats in there to actually get Adam Miller reelected into office is what it is. And my thing is, I'm kind of wondering if they looked at the voter rolls of his like actual, because you have to have like 50 people to actually be registered voters to get you on the ballot to begin with and stuff like that, which makes me wonder how many of Adam Miller's family and friends did he pay off to vote Republican to get him reelected, to get him basically on the Republican ballot so he can get reelected into office, dude, as a Republican instead of as a Democrat. Because I'd be willing to bet there's some shady shit going on there is what it is, dude. And I'd be willing to bet if Frank LaRose or Yost, our, Secretary of State or AG, looked into that stuff, they would find very quickly that this guy shouldn't even be on this ballot, honestly. So, anyway. And then, of course, you got District 7, which is where Adam Miller should have been running against Allison Russo. Unfortunately, Allison Russo is going to win this by default because Ben Leland, who's the son of Dave Leland, who's a current General Assembly member and is primary, or as I termed out with his primaries, Ben is his son, who is going to go up against Russo, and unfortunately didn't make the ballot, so Allison Russo is going to win by default because there's no Republican primary in District 7. District 7 is also heavily Democrat. I can almost guarantee it's still in the Upper Arlington area there where Russo is from. And if you look at the Upper Arlington area of Columbus, it is one of the richest, whitest neighborhoods in this entire state, dude. And it's also got a shitload of racist people in it too, by the way. So I'm not surprised in the least they vote for racists like Allison Russo, honestly, for that matter, dude. For those interested, Allison Russo was also the person that a little over a year ago took a big fat envelope full of cash from a Mama's Man Action member and still hasn't brought up on charges on that one. So, yeah, she should be. District 8, you got Beth Liston, who's another one of these scumbag Democrats. And then we got write-in Zuli Trumper, I think is how to pronounce that woman's name. I think it's a woman. Hopefully Zuli will actually be able to get on the ballot and just be able to beat Beth Liston in the general election then. District 9, unfortunately, Sue King didn't make the ballot for Republican primary, so that's canceled now. She'll probably be a write-in in the general election then. You had Jeremy Eugene Blake not make the ballot for the Democrats, but then you got Menara Abduli and Paul Philippi, who are running in that district. Actually, come to think of it, I think this is the one I was thinking of. This might be the guy I'm thinking of. This Paul guy right here might be the dude for Giffords. I'm going to go check on that just to make sure here, because I believe that's who that is. Okay, yeah, that's exactly who that is then. So we're going to go ahead and where are we here now? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and stop screen sharing that. We're going to screen share a picture of this fucking douchebag because this guy is a complete scumbag. And this is the thing, dude, and this is exactly what I've been talking about for years now with stuff, is when you got douchebags like this fucking guy, this Paul guy, running for office while he has ties to Moms Demand Action, or not Moms Demand Action, to Giffords, and the anti-gunner groups like that, dude, you know for a fact that there's outside money coming into the state backing this motherfucker. So yeah, total piece of crap there. Hopefully that woman is able to just beat him in the primary there and then lose, hopefully, a Republican write-in or something like that in the general election, dude, because that'd be awesome. I would love to see that, honestly. But anyway, going back to the other elections here. This is actually an interesting one, going to District 10 here. So Laura Lanise, who's been in our state house for, I believe it was an entire election cycle right now. I don't think she was, I don't believe that she was, how do you call it now? Like whenever somebody would leave the General Assembly and she's just like appointed there is what it is. Yeah, that's what it would be. I don't believe she was appointed into office. I believe she won in 2020, but I could be wrong about that one. Interestingly enough, though, she was not able to get the 50 votes to make the fucking ballot, dude. So you have the incumbent not even in the race for District 10 now. So it's either going to be Russell Harris on the Democrat side, or it's going to be David Dubose that's actually going to win the general election and become a new state rep then. Which is sad because Laura's done a pretty decent job, dude. At least I think she has. I know there was one. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was her that was the one that was the only Republican to basically back DeWine's tyranny and stuff like that, and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna vote with the Democrats here," and not have it be so the guy's powers can be stripped and stuff like that for emergencies. I know it was one of them. I don't think it was Laura though. I think it was somebody else. But yeah, it's just interesting that she didn't even make the ballot though, dude. So either that or maybe she got a better offer for a different place or something like that, like a city councilship or mayor or some kind of mayor's office or something like that. Or maybe she was going to run for county commissioner or something like that of her own county, whatever the hell it is, dude. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting that she didn't make the ballot there. Anyway, going on to District 11, we have Anita Somali for the Samani for the Democrats. Unfortunately, Rick Neal did not make that primary, so he can't actually, have that be an actual primary. And then for the other side, we got Aaron Newman, who is a perennial candidate, and I'm pretty sure from what I've been looking into about this Aaron Newman guy, this dude has ties to basically the Rhino establishment, like Kasich and stuff like that, and Portman as well, who's a complete fucking piece of shit sellout and sold us out for gun stuff when it came to all those gun votes here recently. So yeah, this is the kind of people. Okay. I don't know if I just went unstable or not. Hopefully people can still hear what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know if my audio cut there or not, but anyway. Yeah, okay, we're back now. So basically, as I was saying about Brian Stewart, though, he's been pretty vocal on social media, couple different ones like Twitter and stuff like that. Very vocal about just the, recession and everything else we're experiencing right now in this country, and has been pretty good. He's been a pro-gun guy. I wouldn't say he's a constitutionalist by any means, but he has voted yes on pro 2A legislation like constitutional carry and stand your ground and stuff like that. So he's worth it to bring back in here again, I think. Moving on to District 13, hopefully Mike Skindell gets beat by Keith Davey in the actual general election. And it's really as simple as that. Going to District 14, the Sean guy is going to win by default. I'm not sure if Jolene Austin or David Morgan is the better choice here. I really don't know. I don't know enough about those candidates to know which one's better. Either way, hopefully District 14 will follow Republican, though. District 15, Republican primary was unfortunately canceled because Shay Hawkins didn't make the ballot. Shay Hawkins is another one of these people that's run for pretty much everything under the fucking sun at this point, dude. He is 100% a perennial candidate, has never won anything as far as I can tell. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, how is this guy affording to run for all these things unless he's getting a bunch of money from the Republican Party or something like that, dude? Or outside funding or something like that, you know, various backers and whatnot. But, yeah, so basically, unfortunately, District 15 will probably fall into Democrat hands and be Richard Delalacqua. I think is that pronounced the guy's name. I could be wrong about pronunciation on that one, though. But, yeah, either way, that'll fall Democrat, unfortunately. It is what it is, man. District 16, this is where it gets interesting, though. And this is another one of these things that I thought was really cool when it came to primaries and redistricting and stuff like that, dude. So you got multiple Democrat incumbents having to fight off with each other, dude. You have Monique Smith, who is a one-termer, versus Bride Rose Sweeney, who is, I think, in her either last term or second to last term right now. You got those two idiots fighting off each other in this primary election. Hopefully, whoever actually wins that primary for the Democrats will lose to Michael Lamb, and we can get rid of both of these stupid fucking cunts because of the fact that you have Monique Smith being the original primary on red flag laws at the very beginning of the General Assembly, and you got Bride Rose Sweeney being one of the primary, or wait, no. I'm trying to remember now. Okay, so we did the red flag laws, universal background checks. I think it was universal. Now I'm thinking about it, you know, previous statement about Dontavius Jarrell's. I think he was actually the one that did the co-sponsoring with Allison Russo on universal background checks is what it was, because it would have been Monique Smith that did the red flag law stuff, or it's the opposite of that. I'm not sure which one it is. My mind is kind of phasing out right now on that one. But either way, Monique Smith basically did one or the other. It was either red flag laws, universal background checks as the primary with Allison Russo. Bride Rose Sweeney was the primary with Allison Russo on the last go around back in 2019 after Dayton Massacre happened. So you basically have two pieces of shit anti-gunners fighting off against each other, who hopefully both will end up losing to a Republican in the actual general election, which would be awesome. Moving on, going to District 18, which is pretty much going to be a write-in district, more or less, it seems like. Now, granted, you do have Daryl Brewer, who actually made the ballot here. And then you got Vincent Rosemond, who is a write-in candidate. Thankfully, current state senator Chandra Williams, who was trying to scumbag her way across the fucking aisle there and go back to the other side of the General Assembly, did not make the ballot. And that's awesome, dude. I'm so happy about that one. But hopefully whoever wins this Democrat primary, hopefully Shalira Taylor can actually get enough votes into that as write-in candidate and stuff like that to where she'll actually be on the ballot come the general election, and she'll actually become part of our General Assembly then. So anyway, moving on down the line, District 19, you got Phil Robinson, who is a scumbag piece of shit, another anti-gunner, abortionist person, all that crap like that. You know, typical Democrat, basically, typical scumbag sack of shit. I believe Phil Robinson was the one who was the primary with Adam Miller as the two incumbents who were actually behind universal background checks in the previous General Assembly from 2019 to 2020. And I know for a fact that he was also a co-sponsor of all that legislation in this General Assembly. And unfortunately, the people that were going to go up against him, neither one of them, neither Matthew Schaefer or Tom Jackson actually made the ballot. So hopefully Phil Robinson will actually lose to either Ron Brew or David Harvoth. I don't care which one of those guys wins. Whichever one is the better candidate there, hopefully they can beat Phil Robinson in the primary or in the general election after they win this primary. So anyway, going on to District 20, got another Republican primary canceled because, again, District 20 is going to fall into a Democrat hell pocket, aka one of the major cities here. Probably Cleveland or a Cleveland suburb would be my guess right now, which is where Terrence Upchurch is from in that area. He is the incumbent. I believe it was Upchurch that was the one who was arrested for drug stuff several times in several years now. and should have been kicked out of a General Assembly based on that alone. And the fact that he wasn't, because he's a fucking Democrat, is absolutely ridiculous. But hopefully Mike Seals will be able to kick his ass in the primary and actually win that seat then. Because I guarantee Seals is going to be burning up church anyway, dude. At least he's going to be an unknown. That's what I'll say on that one, dude. At least he's going to be an unknown. For all we know, he's some random, third-party candidate or something like that running as a Democrat because he's going to win that Democrat primary. And then he'll end up being a constitutionalist or something in our state house after the fact, dude. Flip parties or whatever it would be then. That'd be pretty interesting if that happened. I don't know if it will or not. District 21 is going to be one of these new districts. You got Democrat primary, Michael Etterone, Elliot Forhan, and Jonathan Haloti running against each other. And then for the Republican primary, you got Kelly Powell. Hopefully she'll be able to beat whoever wins that Democrat primary in the general election then. District 22, we got current incumbent Juanita Brent versus Danielle Dornett and Vincent Stokes II. I believe Vincent Stokes is another one of these perennial candidates. I think he's run for stuff before and lost, or he might have been like a one-term city councilman in like Cleveland or Cleveland suburb or something like that, dude. So either way, hopefully one of them can take out Brent because she's another one of these anti-gun, Democrat pieces of shit, basically. And then, of course, that'll just fall Democrat because of where it's at, just like District 20. District 23, you got Daniel Troy, who was in our General Assembly back in the 90s and then won in 2020. Hopefully George Phillips can actually beat him in the general election then and flip that seat Republican. For District 24, you got Danny Isaacjohn versus Dale Mallory. Mark Childers did not make the cut. So either one of those guys will be fighting Adam Kohler. I'm trying to remember if this guy. Wait, now. I'm trying to think now. Is that Kohler or is that Kellner? Now that I'm thinking about it, because I remember there was a guy. There's a dude currently in our General Assembly that's going to be termed out named Kyle Kellner, who is a complete sack of shit. And I believe that this dude is either his brother or his son or something. So I cannot remember. But either way, hopefully if that be the case, he's not going to be like his rhino fucking, sibling or uncle or whatever the hell it is, dude. So either way, it is what it is, man. Moving on to District 25, you got that piece of shit Cecil Thomas, who, by the way, for those interested in Cecil Thomas, this is, again, another reason why we need to have a second piece of legislation that says if you are termed out of the state house or the state senate, you cannot immediately flip over to the other side of the fucking General Assembly, because currently Cecil Thomas, piece of shit Democrat, is in our state senate right now, termed out as of this year, and is now trying to run for the state house again. And he should just be gone entirely, dude. Be told to fuck off is what it is. Unfortunately, he'll win that primary by default because Mohammed Jama did not make the cut. Hopefully, John Braden, or if Jason Miller can actually become the write-in candidate there and beat John, either one of those guys hopefully be able to beat Cecil Thomas's ass in the general election and end up becoming a new state rep then. Because God forbid, we do not need a Cecil Thomas in our state house again, dude. This guy should be thrown out based on the fact that he's already been in the state senate for years now, for at least the past 8 years, scumbag and shit, trying to do anti-gun crap, trying to add anti-gunner amendments to pro-gun legislation, being a complete oath-breaking sack of garbage, et cetera, et cetera. Going down the line, District 26, you got Cedric Denson. And now that I think about it, it might not have been Upchurch. It might have been Denson was the one that was busted for drugs. It's one of those two dudes. I can't remember which one it ever is, dude. I just know it was one of the two. I think it is Denson, though, now I'm thinking about it more. But either way, yeah. Dude is running unopposed, unfortunately, because Colleen Reynolds did not make the cut. Republican primary was canceled in that. And yeah, Denson's probably going to get him by default as well. As going to be there again, another Democrat hell pocket area for District 26. District 27 is going to be one of these interesting toss-ups, I believe, because you have multiple people running in this primary here. You got Rachel Baker and Gabby Bigtrup, who I believe is an Indian naturalized citizen now. Got those two people running against each other on the Democrat side. And then you got Lindsey Cole, Jen Gorox, and Joe Murray running as Republicans. Hopefully, whoever wins that Republican primary can beat whoever wins this Democrat primary. District 28, Jessica Moran is running unopposed as an incumbent. She, I believe, was the one that during the State House hearings on constitutional carry had the audacity to claim that, oh, I actually own guns because my grandpa taught me how to shoot, and the 2A is totally for hunting and nothing else. It's like, shut your fucking mouth, you stupid fucking cunt. No, the Second Amendment was not for fucking hunting. It was to deal with tyranny once fucking government becomes tyrannical. And it's as simple as that, really, honestly. So, anyway, hopefully either Kim Georgeton or Chris Mandel could just beat her in the fucking general election, dude. I think Mandel was actually one of these people that's run for a couple seats before, like, federally. I want to say he was the one that ran against Marcy Kaptur at one point, but I could be wrong about that one. Anyway, going down to District 29, you got Juan Valley, who is running unopposed in the Democrat primary. You got Cindy Abrams, current incumbent, who's running unopposed in the Republican primary. I look for Abrams to get another run just because of the fact I think that district is going to lean somewhat Republican. District 30, you got Alyssa Mayhaus running as a lone Democrat. Then you got Bill Seitz, who is a scumbag rhino sack of dog shit, running against Angela Heimer. Hopefully Angela can actually beat Seitz for this seat right now, dude. I would love to see that happen right now. And the reason that I hate Bill Seitz, and I'll tell you why, dude, because Bill Seitz literally took great amendments out of constitutional carry, man. We had the State House version of constitutional carry that would have been voted through with an amendment in it that allowed people to carry any weapon concealed. And this douchebag had the audacity to be like, oh, this is an Antifa amendment. And then literally like 5 days ago is now voting with Democrats to introduce legislation that's all anti-American and anti-constitutional, everything else like that, dude. So it's like, yeah, dude, you need to be fucking voted out of the State House, period, bro. End of story. Anywho, moving on from there. District 31, you got Rita Dowrow and Luke Lower, who is a write-in. Dowrow is probably going to win by default because don't write people in is what it is in this state because most people don't know who the fuck is on that write-in sheet is what it is, dude. Bill Romer will probably win re-election here. Bill has been, I would say, middle of the road Republican, honestly, in this state. He hasn't done much. As far as I can tell, he really hasn't fired much of anything when it comes to stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if Bill Romer's really... I don't know if my audio is still... connection should be unstable. No, it's not. Anyway, Bill has been very much middle of the road when it comes to Republicans in this. There it goes again. Has been very much middle of the road Republican when it comes to this state house right now. Really hasn't done much of anything for us. There has just been basically a party line for things like constitutional carry, stuff like that. So he could be good, he could be bad. Who the hell knows? But I wouldn't be surprised if we got another term in office. Then I think he's a third term person anyway right now. So this would be like his final term anyway if he does get back in. But anyway, so going on there, District 32, you got Matt Shanahan versus Bob Young. Young's probably going to win the general election in that and just take it. District 33, you got that piece of shit, anti-cop, anti-gunner, Tavia Golonsky, who should have got primaried out by either Veronica Sims or Derek Hall. Unfortunately, the one that was able to make the ballot. Hopefully, she will just lose to Christopher Anderson in the general election. District 34, Casey Weinstein should be in jail right now for the crap he's pulled in the state, including, but not limited to, doing a hate hoax on himself a month after I was federally swatted. And yet the federal agents in this state never actually looked into Weinstein's hate hoax on himself. So, yeah, that's the real problem right there again. Hopefully, Beth Bigham will be able to beat Weinstein in the general election and be done with it, dude. District 35, which is going to be a bunch of new people here. You got Laura O'Donnell. Unfortunately, Deb Helton did not make the ballot for a Democrat primary. And so it's basically going to be O'Donnell versus Steve Daramitru, I think that's the guy's name. Hopefully, Steve will be able to take it and have that be another Republican seat then. In District 36, you got Addison Caruso running solo Democrat versus Andrea White. Andrea White has been kind of when it comes to Republicans. She really hasn't done much for us. She really hasn't done much against us, honestly, dude. Like she should be able to do more, honestly, as a state rep and stuff. But yeah, she's really kind of clowned around on a few things here and there. And that being said, though, she's still better than the Democrats. I'll just say it like that, man. District 37, Tom Young's going to win by default because there's no Democrat primary. District 38 is the opposite way of that. You got Willis Blackshear Jr. getting another run in the state house because of that. 39, you got Linda Jackson as a writing candidate. If she takes the ballot, she'll be facing off with incumbent Phil Plummer. Plummer has actually done some good stuff. He's a good dude. He's older, but he's actually somewhat constitutional from what I've seen. I'm not going to say he's like full blown, like, yeah, Constitution is everything and, you know, how it should be. But that being said, when it comes to Phil Plummer, you know, even with him not being a total constitutionalist or anything like that, he still has done enough to where he should be getting another run in the General Assembly is what it is. So hopefully it'll happen. Hopefully my audio is not cutting out because I'm not sure, man. And it's really starting to irritate me because I keep seeing the friggin' thing go unstable like crazy. So hopefully I'm not roboting or anything like that. And I'm kind of trying to wait for it to go back up because it's only good right now. It's not fully barred right now. I'm going to stop sharing for a sec just to see. Okay, there it goes. Of course, right as soon as I stop screen sharing, it'll go back to then. So, irritating. It's hard for me to see when it does that too because I'm on the other page talking about stuff here. Anyway, going to District 40. I don't think Amy Cox really stands a chance versus Rodney Creech. Creech is a one-term guy right now. He's going to be running for a second term. He's done a lot of good stuff this go around, dude. He was one of the many people that was for Ohio becoming a 2A sanctuary state. He was for, you know, he was one of the many votes on constitutional carry. He's done a lot of good stuff. I believe he's helped get knife preemption through now as well. So, yeah, he's definitely pro his constitutional oath is what it is. Moving on to District 41, which is going to be a bunch of new people here. We got Colin Flanagan versus Nancy Larson in the Democrat primary, and either one of those people is going to be facing Josh Williams. Hopefully Williams will take it, and it'll be as simple as that. District 42, you got Nick Comoves versus Erica White, and they're going to be facing off against either one of those people is going to be facing off against incumbent Derek Marin. Marin, again, going back to, you know, some of the other people, he's definitely a DeWine dick sucker. I'll just say it like it is, dude. He's sucking DeWine's dick a bunch of times now when it comes to just the chicanery going on in this state from the HB6 scandal, et cetera, et cetera. And I believe Marin was also one of the ones that helped get that idiot, that's the current Speaker of the House, Bob Cupp, into there by nominating him. So, yeah. We need better Republicans in those districts, man. Come on, people. Like, primary these motherfuckers, man. Seriously. Moving on to District 43, a new district. We got Michelle Grimm versus Daniel Ortiz for the Democrat primary. You got Wendy Hendricks versus Christy Caley in the Republican primary. Whoever wins Republican primary hopefully will win that district. I don't know exactly if it's going to lean Democrat, if it's going to lean Republican, where it's going to lean. But hopefully they'll be able to take it, and we'll have another Republican in our state house. It's actually a good person that actually knows how to do their job and is actually pro-Constitution and stuff like that, dude. Moving on to District 44, you're going to have Elgin Rogers Jr. versus Roy Plummer III going for that in the general election. District 45, you'll have Chuck Horn versus Jennifer Gross in the general election. District 46, you will have Lawrence Mulligan either facing off against incumbent Thomas Hall or if this Matt King guy can beat Hall, it'll be those guys facing each other. Thomas Hall is not bad. He is not bad at all. He is better than a lot of the people in our state house right now. Is he the best? Could he be better? Yes. Moving on to District 47, this is one of the youngest kids running for the Democrat primary, being that idiot Sam Lawrence. The kid's like 18 or 19 years old. Again, this is why Ohio needs to up our fucking age requirement to at least 21 for state house and 25 for state senate. He has talked about Sarah Carruthers apparently being a pay-to-play person, which is funny because the only thing that Sam Lawrence hasn't talked about is how every fucking Democrat, all 34 of them currently in our General Assembly, or sorry, all 35 of them currently in our General Assembly, because they still have 35 seats here. Yeah, all 35 Democrats have done pay-to-play shit, dude. All 35 Democrats have broken their oath many, many times. All 35 Democrats in the state house and all 8 in the state senate should be in prison right now in the state of Ohio based on the fact they've broken their oath and committed deprivation against the code of law several dozen times by even introducing legislation like red flag laws, universal background checks, as well as trying to introduce those as amendments into pro-gun legislation like constitutional carry and stand your ground. So, anyway, Sam Lawrence can go fuck himself, dude. Also, he's a Sherrod Brown dick sucker, so fuck him. If nothing else, if Cody Harper actually beats Carruthers, hopefully Cody can just beat Sam Lawrence straight up, then, if that be the case, dude. Because nobody wants children in our fucking state house, dude, is what it is. District 48, you'll have David Smith versus Scott Ullinger in the primaries. District 49, you'll have Thomas West versus Jim Thompson, or Jim Thomas. Hopefully Jim can actually beat Thomas West. I actually called out Thomas West's office several times now because last year, after the Stark County Fair, which is exactly where fucking West District is in the city of Canton there, you had a bunch of little gang-banging kids there with guns trying to fucking kill people. And I'm like, dude, do something about this. This is your district. You can actually, fix the shit. And his idiot fucking aide guy was like, oh, no, he's totally not going to do anything here. Yeah, because he's a piece of shit, dude. He's a fucking scumbag. West was also a fucking scumbag on the Canton City Council and stuff like that years ago, dude, before he became part of the State House. So, again, hopefully Jim Thomas can beat his ass in the general election then. District 50, which is where I'm at, we got Reggie Stolfis running unopposed. If I had known that, I might have thrown a primary challenge at the guy myself, dude. Honestly. It is what it is. Stolfis is not bad, but he's done some shady shit right now. Like, specifically in the last 2.5 to 3 years or so, they had an amendment, or they had not amendment. It was a piece of legislation that was introduced into our General Assembly that was going to threat assess all kids in the state. Stolfis was a no vote on it until his own kids were exempt from threat assessment, and then it became a yes vote right after that. So, yeah, just real fucking shady shit like that. That being said, he has been, I don't really want to say pro 2A because I've called up his aides several dozen times in the past year and been like, bro, you guys need to do something about this. When's this going to be a thing? And it was basically, yeah, we're going to play politics because Stolfis is more pro-life than pro 2A is what it is, dude. Which I'm fine with that. But again, bro, like, do what your fucking constituents want you to do. Get the damn vote. Get the freaking legislation to votes clean, dude, is what it is. So, that being said, on the flip side of things, District 51, Brett Hudson Hillner is a total piece of shit rhino. District 52, Gail Manning is also a piece of shit rhino. And I actually hope, like, of all the different seats that are in there right now, I actually would like to see Gail Manning get beat in the general election by this Reagan Phillips, dude. Like, that is the only time I want to see a Democrat win an actual seat right now, dude. Because Gail Manning is such a fucking piece of garbage and was the one behind threat assessing our kids, dude. And this is why I want her voted out of office right now. So, anyway. District 53, you got Joe Miller III. This was actually the guy who was talking about the door amendments and stuff like that during constitutional carry legislation being talked about. I kind of hope people vote right in Dan Ramos just to beat Miller in the primary there. That being said, hopefully either Marty Gallagher or Sarah McGavry, either one of them people beats Joe Miller or Ramos in the general election then. District 54, most likely this Catherine Catherine Breyer, woman who's a writing candidate, does not stand a chance right now. She will most likely get beaten by Dick Stain, current incumbent. I think he'll probably also beat the Democrat in the general election as well on that one. District 55, you got Paul Zorn running unopposed. There should have been multiple challengers of Scott Lips on this one. This really bothers me that Matthew Fisher and Steve Musterspaw did not make the ballot there. Hopefully Thomas Goodwin will beat Scott Lips. And the reason I do not like Scott Lips is because, again, he's another rhino sack of shit, dude. Last year, our General Assembly took over 2 months off for a vacation. People called out Lips in a committee hearing, and Lips is like, oh, you're lucky we don't have you removed from the State House and barred from ever coming back in here. And it's like, what the hell kind of tyrant shit is that, bro? Like, it's so fucked up, man. And that alone should have probably tossed Lips out of our General Assembly right then and there, honestly, dude. So, anyway, moving on to District 56. This basically is an interesting one. So you got Sam Cho, who is currently 17 years old, shouldn't even be on this fucking ballot, dude, because he's not even going to be 18 until the general election happens in the state, running against this Joy Bennett woman who is a known MDA person, basically. So you got MDA versus an idiot child who is trying to basically run on the fact that I'm a fucking child and I would be the youngest person in the General Assembly. Vote for me, everybody that just graduated with me in whatever the hell high school I went to. So hopefully either one of those idiots will get beaten either by Kathy Grossman or Adam Matthews. I don't care which one, dude. But hopefully Ohio does not see the youngest moron in our General Assembly ever, dude. And again, this is why we need to have age limits up, dude, when it comes to eligibility. Moving on to District 57, I assume that Jamie Callender will be getting another run in our general election in the General Assembly. He'll be going up against Evan Rossborough. District 58, you'll most likely have Bruce Neff versus current incumbent Al Catrona. Al Catrona was actually the guy who made knife preemption in our state house. He was the one that introduced that legislation, and thankfully it was able to get through then. So yeah, he's a good dude when it comes to getting us at least changing our patchwork of what would have fucked people over for having knives in the state and different districts and areas and stuff like that, dude, townships and whatnot, into a uniform thing to where we now have knife preemption is what it is. So I could see that being him just winning based on that alone is what it is, dude. Moving on to District 59. We got no Republican primary. We got a bunch of Democrats trying to run for this seat now. So it's either going to be John Dice, Lauren McNally, Wayne Penny Jr., or Ronald Shad. I don't really care which one it's going to be. It doesn't really matter. I'm sure all four of them are scumbags, dude. I mean, hell, you're running in Democrat primaries, for God's sakes. Ain't much to be said about that, man. District 60, I think it's kind of funny when it comes to District 60 how Rebecca Slater did not make the Democrat primary. That being said, Chris Jordan will win unopposed. Chris Jordan is actually one of the few decent, somewhat good constitutionalists in our state house right now, dude. He is a known good guy. I've talked to his office several times. Him and Tom Brinkman were the one that actually made the constitutional carry legislation for the state side of the state house. Or I should say state house, yeah, the house side of our General Assembly is what I'm trying to say there. It was, I can't remember who won it on the state Senate side, but that's the one that actually got through though. But yeah, either way, Jordan and Brinkman knew what the hell they were doing, and it is sad to see Brinkman go because he was termed out. That being said, hopefully Chris Jordan will be able to get better stuff through next go around. Like basically, with our stand your ground currently, it could be a lot better. They could actually do a better version of it right now that does not allow people to be sued if they have to have self-defense encounters. Because currently you can be, even if you have to defend yourself versus a scumbag criminal. Anyway, moving on to District 61, we got Luis Valentine actually made the ballot. Rebecca Morano did not. One of those two will be going up against current incumbent Sean Stevens or Beth Lear. This is actually the primary when it comes to Stevens versus Lear. So Beth Lear is actually a good America First person, dude. Sean Stevens claims to be the incumbent in this district, even though Sean Stevens has only been in the state house for about 4 to 5 months right now, dude. He was only in there as of, I think it was either March or February or something like that is when he got in there. And it was either when Brinkman left the state house is who Stevens took over for. It was one of the other guys when they left to do like some city councilship or whatever is who Sean Stevens took over for. So he's not really the incumbent. He's just a new guy that was appointed to the position a couple months ago. And hopefully Beth Lear can beat him in that general election or beat him in that primary and become the new person in the general election then. District 62, you got Brian Flick on the Democrat side versus Gene Schmidt on the Republican side in the overall thing. Schmidt is kind of iffy. That being said, she is pro-life. She's also against the death penalty, which is where I kind of like, we need the death penalty, dude. We just need multiple other things to it is what it is right now. You don't need to just have lethal injection at all, dude. When we can't even get lethal injection drugs, like make, better things than hell. Firing squad could be out to it right now. Other things as well, dude. Bring back the gas chamber, bring back the electric chair, other stuff like that, Cheaper methods is what it would be that we can actually have, and at moment's notice is what it would be then, man, for these scumbag criminals is what it would be that actually are mass murderers and stuff like that, dude. Anyway, District 63, you got Richard Perry as a write-in. If he would actually make the ballot, if he'd actually make the general election, he'd be fighting off against incumbent Adam Byrd. Byrd has done next to nothing in this General Assembly. Not really that good of incumbent, but he's better than a Democrat. I'll say it like that. District 64, you'll either have Bria Bennett or Vincent Pearson II going against Nick Santucci. Hopefully Nick can actually win this primary because Nick is a good dude. I have actually spoken with this guy. He is 100% on board with stuff. He is full-blown constitutionalist, and hopefully he can take that seat, dude. Moving on to District 65, no Democrat primary. You got incumbent Mike Loychek versus new guy Randy Law. Hopefully Loychek can actually beat Law. Loychek is actually, again, one of the few constitutionalists in our state house currently, dude. He is an ex-military guy. I believe he's about a year younger than I am. And Loychek was also, I believe, the primary sponsor of making Ohio a Second Amendment sanctuary state. So, unfortunately, that legislation never got to the thing, but that's besides the point. That's Wiggum not doing his fucking job and bringing it up to the actual committee vote and stuff. So it is what it is, man. Like I said, there's a lot of fuckery going on in our state house and every state house across this country is what it is, dude. District 67, you will have Democrat Drew Burge go up against either Ron Falcone, Melanie Miller, or Terry Robinson. Matt Young did not make the ballot. So one of those three hopefully will beat Drew is what it is. District 68, we do not have a Democrat primary because Mark Carr did not make the Democrat requirement for the primary. So you'll have Mark Fisher, who's another one of these DeWine dick sucker types. Hopefully Thaddeus Claggett actually beats Mark Fisher in this one. District 69, which is what Householder would have been holding before this. Kevin Miller was the one appointed to that position. He will be facing off against Charlotte Owens in the actual general election. Miller hasn't done much of anything except basically be a party line vote on stuff, which I'm better having him as a party line vote on stuff than having a Democrat take that position of power. Moving on to District 70, you got Eric Price will either face off against incumbent Brian Lempton, who's not a bad dude, or Catherine Shuttle, whoever wins that primary. District 71, most likely Bill Dean will beat James Duffy in the general election. District 72, Gail Pavlia, who actually flipped this seat red in the last general election. Hopefully she can beat Catherine Clyde in this midterm election. Jeff Lurie will be running unopposed come the general election because there is no Democrat primary in District 73. District 74, you got Daryl Sachs. Daniel Sachs running as a write-in versus Bernard Willis. Hopefully Willis will just be able to take that down. District 75, you got Henging and Barney. He's not a bad dude in our state house right now as an incumbent. Hopefully he can beat this Jan person in the general election then. Justin Andrews is a write-in candidate. He may or may not make the ballot. Marilyn John is an okay person. Hopefully she will actually just get a second term then. District 77, Scott Wiggum, who's actually super pro 2A. Hopefully he'll win re-election versus Mark Gooch. District 78, there is no Democrat primary. Susan Manchester, I kind of would like to see her actually primaried by J.J. Sherman, just because of the fact that Manchester is kind of a scumbag, and I believe that she is very much a pay-to-play Republican in the state house and a complete rhino sack of shit. So, anyway. District 79, you will have Taylor Eastham for the Democrats versus Monica Robb Dasdale for the Republican Party. Hopefully, Monica actually wins that general election. District 80, we will have Jenna Powell be a, I believe, third term state rep. District 81, you'll have James Hoops be either a third or fourth term state rep, just because no primaries for Democrats in those super Republican leaning districts there. District 82, you got Magdalene Markward versus, will be facing off against either Roy Kopfenstein or Ted Penner. I'm not sure which one of those guys, if it's Roy or Ted, is the better constitutionalist in that one. Either way, hopefully they'll be able to take that seat down and become a new state rep there. Either way, one of those three people will be a new state rep in our state house just because of redistricting and stuff like that, dude. Moving on to District 83, we got Melissa Ketzel versus Claire Osborne for the Democrat primary, and they will be facing off against incumbent John Cross come the general election. Hopefully Cross can win that seat again. District 84, you got Sophia Rodriguez as the lone Democrat here. And the Republican primary, it'll be Angela King, Jacob Larger, or Amy Marrow. I don't know which one of those people will actually be the better choice. Either way, hopefully they can beat Sophia Rodriguez and be the next state rep there for 84. District 85, which is where Nino Vitale would be running again if he wasn't term limited out, where we now have Lily Vitale, his wife, running in that primary, along with Rochelle Falk and Tim Barhost. Hopefully Vitale will win again, and you'll just have Nino's wife take over that seat then. She is as much of a constitutionalist as he is, and she would be as pro-2A and as pro-life, if not more pro-2A and pro-life than he is. So hopefully that'll become a Vitale seat then for, another go-around is what it'll be. Nick Davis did not make the ballot on that one, unfortunately. It is what it is, dude. Like I said, hopefully Lily can beat these other two and just take that seat down. That's what it is, dude. Anyway, District 86, you got Barbara Luke for the Democrat Party, and she will either be facing incumbent Tracy Richardson, or if Michael Bolin can beat Richardson in that Republican primary, he will be facing off against Barbara. Richardson is not bad. She has done a couple things here and there that is, basically what I would consider to be party line stuff, honestly, dude. That being said, really hasn't made many waves one way or another, dude, to make me really feel one way or another about the person. So, anyway, District 87, you will have McLean win again, just because he's been in there and has no primary opponents, or has no general election opponents, no Democrat primary there. District 88, you'll have Diane Sulvey as a write-in versus Gary Click potentially in the general election. Click is actually a good dude. He's not extremely pro-2A, but he's pro-2A enough is what it is, and that's what we need in our state house right now, dude. He's also pretty pro-life as well. So Click will mostly become a second termer is my guess. District 89 is kind of another one of these ones I would like to see flip, honestly. Just because DJ Swearingen is one of the biggest pieces of fucking shit in our state house right now, dude. If it wasn't for this asshole, you wouldn't have had Terry stops be added to the fucking constitutional carry legislation that passed through. And he basically gave a win to the Democrat Party and a bunch of other rhino sacks of shit with that stupid amendment, dude. So hopefully he'll be getting beat by Jim. And Jim Orbenfall will actually be a new representative there. District 90, Andrew Dodson will be the Democrat nominee there versus either current incumbent Brian Baldridge or Calvin Robinson. Baldridge is another one of these guys that's sort of scumbaggy-ish. I wouldn't mind seeing him get primaried by Calvin Robinson. District 91, and this goes back to something I talked about earlier with the whole thing of people being able to be, termed out of the one side of our General Assembly and then just simply run for the other side. Bob Peterson is currently a state senator who is now running unopposed in District 91 for the state house. And there's no Democrats in that primary at all on the other side. So he'll basically win by default, unfortunately. District 92, Mark Johnson will be getting another run. District 93, Jason Stevens, who should have caught a primary challenge this go around because he's a scumbag sack of shit, will be getting another run. District 94, you will have Ryan Goodman for the Democrats versus current state rep Jay Edwards in the general election. District 95, we'll see William Ryan for the Democrats versus current rep Don Jones. Most likely Edwards and Jones will win re-election. Same thing in District 96. You will not see Charlie DePalma beat Ron Ferguson. District 97, Adam Holmes will win by default. District 98, you will most likely see Daryl Kick beat Scott Pillins. And District 99, hopefully Sarah Fowler Arthur can beat Abby Kovis in the general election. Sarah Fowler Arthur is the first term person right now. She would be a second termer if she wins this re-election. She was actually the one that flipped a seat there because it was a Democrat held district way long ago and is now a Republican held district. Sarah is also pro-life. She is also pro-parental rights. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have the parental rights legislation coming through in September for a House committee hearing, which I will hopefully be going down to the State House to testify for. So anyway, yeah, she's just a good chick in general, dude. So that's it for the actual House races. Going on to talk about the state Senate races here, which currently we got 8 Democrats, 25 Republicans in our state Senate right now. And there is, let me see here now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different seats up for re-election right now in this go around, which is basically the odd number ones, which would be like 1, and then it's like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, all the way up to 33 basically. So I'm going to take a drink real quick and then we'll get on with this. So District 1, you will have no Democrat primary. Robert McCloy will win by default in that one. District 3, anti-white racist Tina Maharoth is up for re-election there. Hopefully she will get beaten in the general election by Michelle Reynolds. District 5, Steve Hoffman will win again in re-election. District 7, you will have David Dallas versus either incumbent Scott Wilson or write-in candidate Austin Kreuzer. I'm guessing it'll be Wilson versus Dallas. Hopefully Wilson will win. District 9, Catherine Ingram. This is where it becomes interesting. District 9, District 11, both. Ingram and Paula Hicks Hudson are both current state reps that are running for our state Senate, dude. Hopefully both of them will get beaten respectively by Orlando Sanja and Tony Daya, respectively there, because neither one of these fucking women need to be in our state house anymore, dude. They shouldn't even been allowed to run for these fucking election cycle, dude, because they were already termed out as state reps is what it is, dude. So hopefully Orlando and Tony will be our new state senators and stuff like that, and Ingram and Hicks Hudson will be able to go fuck themselves is what it is, dude. Moving on to District 13, you got Anthony Esapilos. I think that's how I pronounce the guy's name. Unfortunately, Joseph Garcia did not make the ballot, so you're not going to have an actual Democrat primary there. It'll just be this Anthony guy by default. He'll either be facing off against incumbent Nathan Manning or Kristen Hill if she's able to beat Manning. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Manning get beat, honestly, because he is another scumbag, just like his, I believe it's wife, Gail. So, yeah. Enough is enough of these old rhino fuckers in here, dude. It's time to get rid of all of them and primary the shit out of everybody there, dude. So, anyway. Unfortunately, District 15, that piece of shit Herschel Craig will be able to win by default for the Democrats because Andrew Brush did not make the fucking ballot. Moving on to District 17, you will have Gary Boone running unopposed because Alex Trevino did not make the ballot, and he will either be facing off against Tom Hung or Shane Wilkin in the primary, or sorry, in the general election. So, fun fact, and obviously Tim Inwood did not make the ballot. Shane Wilkin, another fucking state house rep that is currently termed, or he's not even termed out now. Wilkin has he could have won for a fourth term right now in our state house, dude. He is choosing to go to the state senate right now. Wilkin was also the fucking asshole who held up constitutional carry in committee for over 6 months. Ohio could have been 22 and 22 legitimately, dude, when it came to constitutional carry law. But because of that sack of shit, Shane Wilkin, we end up having to go down as like 23 because of this asshole. So yeah, hopefully Tom Hung, who is actual constitutionalist, can beat Shane Wilkin's ass in that fucking primary, dude, and then beat Gary Boone in the general election and become our new state senator there. Moving on to District 19, you got Chrissy Henshaw versus Heather Schwinger for the Democrat primary, and they would be facing off against incumbent Andrew Brenner. Fun fact about Andrew Brenner, he was the idiot who was literally driving and talking during a state house committee hearing, and he has some background that made it look like he was sitting in a room or something like that, but he had a fucking seatbelt across his chest, dude. And it's like, you're an idiot, Drew. You're an idiot, Drew. Seriously, bro. That being said, he's better than a Democrat, dude. Because honestly, that's the only thing bad he's really done here. District 21, you will have John E. Barnes Jr. versus Kent Smith. Again, Kent Smith is another one of these fucking people who is a current state rep trying to run for state senate now. Hopefully Barnes will be able to beat their ass, and then they'll end up losing to Mikhail Adderman. District 23, hopefully Nikki Antonio, current Democrat, will lose to Laundry Simmons Jr. in the general election. This one actually makes me happy for District 25. So you have Crystal Lett, who did not make the ballot. For those interested, in 2020, Crystal Lett was a known Planned Parenthood and Moms Demand Action plant. She was taking money from both organizations. Known baby killer, known anti-gunner, lost to a state rep lost to state senator who was a known rhino bitch. I can't remember what that one's name is now offhand. I have to think about it right now. Yeah, but it was a really close race is what it was, dude. But thankfully, moron won it anyway. Even though she's a total piece of shit, dude. But yeah, so basically Lett did not make the ballot. So you'll either have William DeMora or Elizabeth Then as a write-in versus Chandler Wilkski. Hopefully Chandler can just become the new state senator there. It is what it is, man. End of story. District 27, you will have Patricia Goots versus current state rep Christine Roninger. Christina is actually not bad. She is actually not bad. I would like to see her get reelected. District 29, I'm actually pissed off that Kirk Shearing did not catch a primary challenge because I was going to try to run against him myself. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the actual numbers I would have needed to make the ballot. That was what it is, dude. Because if I had known that shit, I would have made sure to get into that race and primary his fucking ass. Is what it is, dude. This is actually the one race here that I will refuse to even put this guy's fucking name on a ballot, dude. Because fuck that douchebag. Shearing is one of the biggest rhino sacks of shit in our state house and has been a career politician for decades now. He should have been thrown out of our state house decades ago, honestly, dude, just based on the fact he keeps getting termed out and then just runs for the other side is what it is. Anyway, going to District 31, their Democrat primary was canceled because the Chambers person did not make the list. Gregory Brewer Jr. and Kevin Black did not make the list for the Republican primary, so Al Landis will basically win by default. And then District 33, Michael Ruley will most likely get another term in the state Senate because I doubt that Robert Hagen's actually going to be able to flip that seat blue. I've actually talked to Ruley too. He's been pretty pro 2A about some things. He's done some stuff. Been a primary sponsor of several pieces of legislation that are pro 2A that haven't gotten through our General Assembly, unfortunately. And yeah, Ruley's just not a bad dude at all, man. So he's one of the few state senators I actually like, is what it is here, because he's actually doing his job, is what it is. Unlike that sack of shit Shearing, who actually represents me, dude, and has one of the worst fucking sets of people as his aides in his office, dude, who don't know shit about shit and don't fucking care about you as a constituent, is what it is, dude. Because why would you, when you're just going to keep running unopposed and get back into office like 20 fucking times, dude? So, anyway, that being said, we're going to talk about one more thing here, which is our state Supreme Court races, where you will have a new Supreme Court justice be the head justice now, replacing Maureen O'Connor, and hopefully that's going to be Jennifer, or sorry, not Jennifer. Hopefully that's going to be Sharon Kennedy, because Jennifer Brunner should be thrown out of this fucking race. So you got Brunner, who is a known sack of shit. She's one of the ones that's been fucking around with our primaries forever right now, including the latest set ones for 2024. Hopefully Sharon Kennedy, who's actually pro-2A, pro-constitutional, etc., can beat her and become the new Chief Justice there. Then for other races, we got Pat Fisher, who's running for re-election. Hopefully he can get back in, because, again, he's one of the few people that's actually good here. And then the other race, you know, as much as I hate Mike DeWine, his son Pat DeWine is not a bad dude. Hopefully Patrick DeWine can actually beat this Marilyn Zanas for that seat, dude, and just maintain and make it a hopefully 4-3 Republican majority now, because I know for a fact there's going to be a new race when it comes to O'Connor, who's going to be, I believe it's age limited out this go around, because that's how it works here in our state level, is once you hit, I believe it's 70, you are automatically out just based on age. And I want to say she is now like 71, because they let you finish out your term, is what it is. And so, yeah, she can't run for re-election, thank God. And in the past, like 4 to 6 months, she's basically proven herself to be a complete rhino sack of shit, is what it is, dude. And Maureen O'Connor should be impeached based on that alone, is what it is, dude. So, anyway, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday. Hopefully, you will have a bunch of idiot kids go home crying. Well, at least one, because unfortunately Sam Lawrence did not actually catch a primary challenge there for that seat. So he'll obviously be in the general election versus whoever, but hopefully he'll go home crying November is what it'll be. Hopefully Sam Chowdo will go crying, you know, as a 17-year-old this go around, dude, which again, I'm seriously going to talk to state reps pretty soon, dude, about like, why is our age limit so damn low, dude? It should be 21 and 25. Hell, what it should be is it should be 21 for state house, 25 for state senate, and 30 for governor, dude. It's fucking stupid to be 18 across the board. And the reason I say that that's stupid to be 18 across the board is it was one thing in 1810 for 18-year-olds who were actual men at that point, dude, because they were living on their own for about 5-6 years and being able to be, you know, self-reliant and stuff like that. And were actually men because they were going to die by the time they were like 35 or so, versus a fucking 17-year-old kid now who doesn't know his ass from his fucking elbow and is these Tide Pod eating generation kids, man. So, and the same thing with that idiot Sam Lawrence, dude. 18, 19, fucking doesn't know his ass from his elbow, has no life experience whatsoever, dude, and is a fucking college-age commie pretty much. So, yeah, just a bunch of fucking clown shoes, dude, is what it is. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. I know 2 of you stayed with me this whole time for the last hour or so. So, you know, good on y'all. And, yeah, I will see you guys at some point in the future. I don't know when it'll be. Maybe it'll be Tuesday. Maybe we'll talk about the races after the fact or something like that, dude. And we'll just talk about all the winners and stuff like that of who won primaries and whatnot. And see, and then we'll actually maybe do a little deep dive. Actually, maybe we'll do it next Thursday now I'm thinking about it, because the thing about it is if I was able to do it on like Tuesday or Wednesday, I wouldn't have enough time to actually do the research into who's actually winning these different ones and stuff like that, and see just how, you know, if it's going to be a Democrat, how like anti-gun, anti-life, et cetera, they are. Versus if it's a Republican side of the ticket, it'll be somebody, if they are like, you know, sort of scumbag rhino or something like that, or if they're, you know, an anti-gunner themselves and slipped into that primary or whatever, was able to win it somehow, or if they are like super pro 2A, constitutionalist, America first, whatever it is. So, yeah, either way, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all in the next one.